Hello, good evening, everyone. So, my dear friends, well, once again, I welcome all of you in today's current affairs. Okay, so today we are in 2nd December 2025. Okay, last month of 2025, time passes, it flies by, you never know. So, therefore, each and every day must be lived fully, and maximum use of each and every day must be made. Okay, so now continuing to the news items which I am going to cover today. Okay, the first thing is that Pan Masala Cess is going to be introduced. A recent amendment has been introduced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and one more, higher duties on tobacco products. Get the point? So then next topic is Masala bonds, which is related to state of Kerala, which has raised some funds through Masala bonds in 2019 and 20. And now Enforcement Directorate has sought explanation from Chief Minister and Finance Minister of Kerala. Get the point? Then fugitive economic offenders, those who have committed economic offences in the country and have left the country. So how many fugitive economic offenders recently have been found, and how much crores they have been they have duped the country. Then bioremediation, one of the very good articles and very good question for mains. What is bioremediation and how we need this in the current ecology and environment scenario? Okay. Then also National Action Plan for Antimicrobial Resistance 2.0. This is the second National Action Plan for dealing with antimicrobial resistance. I have discussed basics of this. I will discuss currently how what are the key steps for success of this plan, what shall be the key steps. Then I will discuss growth momentum as an indicator of Indian economy and index of industrial production, some insights about this index. These all will be tits and bits, fragments of information for your mains examination. Okay, also for prelims some questions, but for mostly for mains examination. One thing in current affairs you have to remember always, that whenever we are reading current affairs, every day we add some information to the already existing information. Okay, like in my previous video, I have taught index of industrial production. I will again take up this today, but I already taught this. So it means that I will be adding up some information to it. Okay, so now coming to first article, that is Centre has moved two bills. One bill for introduction of the cess on pan masala, and second is increasing duties on tobacco products. Okay, excise duties on tobacco products. Okay, now please understand. First of all, you must understand basics about this article. Here I will tell you basics. Briefly I am telling you, GST was introduced from 1st July 2017. Under GST, on certain products like automobiles, like sin goods, tobacco, cigarettes, there was one additional tax that is called as GST compensation cess. GST compensation cess. Why this GST compensation cess was introduced? This was an additional tax. First of all, try to understand the concept of tax, cess. Okay, let us suppose you have 100% rupees. 100 rupees is your personal disposable income. Government says pay 10% income tax. So it means you have to pay 10 rupee as income tax. Okay, income tax. Now government says pay cess of 50%. Pay cess of 50%. Okay, so 50% of not this 100 rupees, now 50% of this 10 rupee, which is already calculated income tax. So 50% of 10 rupee is 15%. So 10 rupee is the income tax plus 5 rupee is the cess. Okay, this is 50%. 50% of what? The tax. So it means cess is a tax on tax. Tax on the tax. This is your tax amount, and on this tax additional 50%, this is the cess. Okay, now always remember that cess will be for a special purpose. Like government says this 50% is for educational purpose. Say education cess. Education cess. Although the rates are not this much higher, only this time in GST we are trying to introduce the cess of the total rate will be around 50 to up to 70% on sin goods like tobacco, pan masala, etc. Okay, so cess is the tax on tax for funding special purposes, for funding special sectors. Coal cess for funding the coal sector, green energy cess. Okay, even 2017 onwards there was also one cess called Swachh Bharat cess. Okay, so cess is a tax on tax. Now GST compensation cess was introduced in 2017, and the amount received from any cess is called proceed. The proceeds were being deposited in one fund that is called as GST compensation fund. GST compensation fund. And from this fund, money was being given to states. To which states? Those states which were showing reluctance for introduction of GST. Why they were showing reluctance? Because they were saying that we would lose huge amount of revenues because of GST. Then government said that any losses we will cover for 5 years. Means 2017 to 2022 there was GST compensation cess. Compensation given to the states for loss of revenues to ensure that the state revenues grow at around 14%. Get the point? Okay, but during the time period 2020, 21, 22, there was not much GST collections in the cess section. So therefore, government borrowed a lot of money to pay money to the states. Get the point? Now, government is currently returning that money which it has borrowed to pay the states. Interest and principal amount is to be returned. Okay, so interest whichever is to be returned, that will be returned from the newly introduced cess which are being planned by the government to be introduced in this year, introduction by the finance minister. This is basics. Now I'll come to the article itself. The article says that government is planning to raise the excise duty on tobacco products, and on manufacturers of pan masala we will be imposing cess. Okay, cess will be on whom? On manufacturers of pan masala, and we will be imposing higher duties on tobacco products. Why do we need this amendment? Already we were having GST compensation cess, because now we are currently under one more reform, that is GST 2.0. GST, I will take a detailed class on the reforms in GST, that is GST 2.0. In this, almost the GST compensation cess is gone now. Okay, why? Because earlier there were 4 tax slabs, like there was 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. These were the GST rates. Now only 5% and 18% slabs are there. 12% slab is gone, 28% slab is gone, plus cess is also gone. Therefore, a new amendment has been introduced yesterday by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to introduce the cess on pan masala and duties on tobacco products. Okay, now where will we keep the money which we will receive from the cess and extra duties? We will be using this money to compensate the states for any losses which they faces due to implementation of GST of a period of 5 years. Okay, this is about GST compensation cess. Sorry, I have already told you this one. I am telling you that now government will use this money primarily to pay the interest on the borrowings which government has done to pay the compensation cess to the states. This money will be used for that purpose. Please read the article now. You will be able to understand very properly this amendment. Which amendment? The Health Security say National Security Cess Bill and the Central Excise Amendment Bill. Central Excise Amendment Bill will increase excise duties on tobacco products, whereas the Health Security say National Security Cess Bill is basically used to introduce the cess on pan masala manufacturers. Okay, so these are the names of two bills, and this is the purpose of 2 bills. Okay, please read the article very thoroughly. You'll get to know. Now, next article. Enforcement Director issues notice to Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund, Board. Okay, Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board. This is a special body which was formed in 1999 in Kerala for raising funds for infrastructure investment. Raising funds for infrastructure investment. Okay. Now this board has floated masala bonds. This board has floated masala bonds for raising funds. Masala bonds for raising funds to the tune of 2672.8 crores. Okay. It was in the year 2019. Okay. Now current government says that we have repaid the whole money, but Enforcement Directorate says that this money has violated the RBI guidelines. This money has violated the RBI guidelines on masala bonds, and it has also violated the Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. So this is why Enforcement Directorate has sent notices to Chief Minister as well as the Finance Minister of Kerala government. Okay. Now important thing which are to be understood from this articles is, first of all, you need to understand what is masala bond. What is masala bond? You know, masala basically India always known for its spices. So the word masala is used to show the Indianness of these bonds. What are bonds? These are financial instruments which are used by any company or individual or organization to borrow money. Okay, suppose I want to borrow money, I will issue bonds. Bonds means documents written on the format which is provided by RBI. Okay, I will issue bonds. Instead of those bonds, people will give me money. They will keep the bond till the maturity period for maybe 2 years, 3 years. After that, when they will return the bond to me, I will return the money to them along with the interest of the bond. Get the point? Okay. So masala bonds, first of all, why masala? Because this represents Indianness. What is Indianness in these bonds? Indianness is that these bonds are in rupees. These bonds are denominated in rupees and not in dollars. In rupees, you are issuing bonds, but these bonds are issued to foreign entities, to foreign companies or in foreign exchanges, to foreign entities. Okay, to foreign entities. So suppose you issue a bond to Australian company or Australian stock exchange, you list a bond for purchase, for subscription. When you list it in rupee denomination, this will be called as masala bonds. So in the simplest terms, I will tell you what is masala bond. These are rupee denominated bonds. Okay, these are rupee denominated. These are rupee denominated bonds issued by Indian entities abroad. When I say entities, it can be a financial institution, it can be a organization like Government of India is Government of India is an organization. Okay, so can't this Kerala Infrastructure Investment Board, Fund Board, can't this board issue the masala bonds? Yes, they can issue. They are entitled to. But when they have issued a bond, for what purpose they have issued, they must use the money for that very purpose. This is RBI guideline. RBI guideline says that corporates are, allowed to issue masala bonds, but the money which is raised through a bond must be used for that very purpose only. Okay, so now related to this, another article was on page number 5, that is masala bonds controversy reignites in Kerala. Okay, so I have already told you what majority of the things I have told you, but the Hindu has explained here what is a masala bond. Masala bond is an instrument for raising rupee denominated resources from international market or internationally. Okay, so Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board raised 2,150 crores in March 2019, and recently it has again raised how much? Here it is written 466 crores, and together I have told you already 2,670 crores have been raised so far. Okay, where did it list the bonds? London Stock Exchange and Singapore Stock Exchange. In these organizations, Kerala government registered Kerala, this board registered its bonds for raising funds. Okay. Now, why foreign exchange management regulations have been in contravention and RBI directions have been violated? How? How have these been violated? First of all, they have said that they have not reflected these borrowings in the budget. So they are off budget borrowings. They have not reflected these borrowings in the budget. They are off budget borrowings. Get the point? And RBI has also said that they are violation of the constitution and encroachment of the powers on center, because they have not asked the permission from center government to raise funds from abroad. So center's authority has also been undermined. Okay. So in this article, one more act that is in news, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. Prior to Foreign Exchange Management Act, there was Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, FERA. Now FERA was replaced by FEMA. What is FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act? This is an act which legally deals with how we borrow from abroad, okay, or whatever money we receive from abroad, whatever basically international transactions we carry out. Okay, this was basically passed in 1999 and came in force on 1st of January 2000. Came in force on 1st of January, sorry, 1st of June, extremely sorry, 1st of June 2000 it came into force. Okay, why? It was basically to regulate all the foreign exchange transaction. This act is there to, I'm talking about FEMA, to regulate international financial transactions. International financial transactions. To regulate international financial transactions. Get the point? So this is basics about it. Okay. Now, how much foreign exchange you can acquire and hold, payment, how you want to do the payment in international market, and how you want to export and import of currencies. These are all dealt under Foreign Exchange Management Act. Okay. It gives RBI ample powers and authority to deal with the foreign exchange transactions. Therefore, under FEMA, RBI is allowed to issue guidelines on different issues related to international transaction. Therefore, RBI issued guidelines on masala bonds also. RBI guidelines on masala bonds. I hope you have understood what are masala bonds. These are financial instruments which are used by domestic entities to raise monies from international market. Okay. And they are rupee denominated bonds. They are rupee denominated bond. Okay. According to RBI, any corporate and Indian bank is eligible to issue masala bonds. Any corporate or Indian bank is eligible to issue masala bonds. Then how Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board issued the masala bonds. Okay. Now money raised through such bonds cannot be used for real estate activities. Okay. Cannot be used for real estate activities. Okay. Money raised cannot be used for real estate activities. But Kerala government says that there are exceptions. Like townships are exceptions, or affordable housing projects by state governments are exceptions. Therefore, these are used in those activities. Otherwise, you cannot use the funds in real estate activities. Get the point? Okay. Then also money cannot be used for investing in capital markets or purchase of land or for lending to others. So the money which you have got cannot be used for lending. You cannot lend the money raised through masala bonds. You cannot purchase land. You cannot invest it in banks. Invest in banks. These are RBI guidelines related to masala bonds. You cannot invest the money in banks. Get the point? Okay. And also maturity period. The minimum maturity period shall be, if it is less than $50 million, Okay. Then the maturity period is 3 years, and more than 50 billion it is 5 years. Okay. So RBI has also said minimum maturity period. For amount less than or equal to 50 million dollars, it is equal to 3 years, and more than 50 million dollars, it is how much? 5 years. This is the maturity. These are the guidelines. Okay, so that's enough for understanding the Masala bond case, in which Kerala Chief Minister has been summoned by Enforcement Directorate along with the then Finance Minister. Okay, now 9 major bank fraud accused among 15 fugitive economic offenders. Okay, यहाँ पे you have to understand what is fugitive economic offender. Who is a fugitive economic offender? One who has committed an economic offense in the country, arrest warrants are issued in the country, and the person has left the country. That is called as fugitive economic offender. Fugitive economic offender. A person against whom arrest warrants are issued in domestic country, arrest warrants are issued against the person has left the country, okay, and has committed a offense which is listed in the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act of 2008. Okay, Fugitive Economic Offenders Act of 2018. Okay, number 1, arrest warrant is issued. Number 2, committed any offense. Committed an offense listed in Fugitive Economic Offenders Act of 2018. Okay, in this act the list of offenses are there. What are those offenses? First of all, person might have counterfeited government currency, there is check dishonor, money laundering, transaction or defrauding the creditors. Okay, now the value of offense must be at least 100 crores. Okay, second and third point is value of offense is at least how much? 100 crores. Okay, big names in this list include, I have already told you, Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya, Nitin Sandera, Chetan Sandesara and Dipti Sandesara. Okay, then Hitesh Kumar. Not so important. What is more important is that 15 fugitive economic offenders are there, and 9 major bank frauds are there in the bank fraud accused are in the means 9 people are those who have caused bank frauds. Okay, and money to the tune of around they have basically a huge amount of money to the tune of 26,645 crore rupees fraud. This is the principal amount. Okay, plus if you add the interest, 31,437 crore rupees. This is the amount of fraud. Okay, together if you say they are around 58,000 crores. These are the frauds caused by these 9 economic offenders who have been figuring in the list of fugitive economic offenders. Okay, who declares these people as fugitive economic offender? It is basically special courts are designated for that purpose. Special courts, which are also called as PMLA courts. Why they are called PMLA courts? Because they are dealt under Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Okay, that is of 2002. Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. In this act, there is one provision that special courts will be established to try the money laundering cases. Those people who are convicted or who are accused of money laundering, they will be tried by special courts. These courts declare an individual, these courts declare fugitive economic offenders for committing the offense. And then we send requests to different governments for extradition of those fugitive economic offenders. Okay, like there are few countries, United Kingdom, Antigua, Barbuda. Okay, these are the countries where we have sent requests for extradition of Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi. Okay, these are the people where we have sent extradition requests to these countries. Get the point? Okay, this was about fugitive economic offenders. Now next is, why do we need bioremediation? What is bio and what is remediation? Bio means using biological means, remediation means treating the waste materials. Okay, correcting the ecological disturbances, correcting the losses to the environment. Okay, treating the waste by organisms like bacteria. Okay, means it means the literal meaning of the term bioremediation is restoration through biology. Restoration through biology. Restoration of the environment through biology. Through what? Through biology. How through biology? Biology means using microorganisms. Okay, using microorganisms. We put on various microorganisms or various waste on various waste dumping sites. Okay, and those microorganisms, like here it is mentioned, like bacteria, fungi, okay, then also algae, etc. These are put on the dumping sites. Okay, these are put on the dumping sites. Okay, then they metabolize the they metabolize the waste as food. As food, they basically break down the waste product. Okay, and then they break down it into harmless products like water, carbon dioxide, okay, organic acids. Okay, now also they convert some toxic metals into less dangerous forms. Okay, toxic metals are also converted into less dangerous forms. That's why we need bioremediation. Okay, now bioremediation is of two types as mentioned in the article. Bioremediation has two types. Okay, one is in situ. In situ means when we put the microorganisms on the site where the dumping is done, and another one is ex situ. Ex situ means off site. Off site means we take the waste product at some other places and then we put microorganisms there in order to treat the waste management. Okay, so bioremediation is the need. Here it is in situ bioremediation, where treatment happens directly at the contaminated site. Ex situ, where treatment is done in a controlled facility outside the actual site. Okay, then we have seen different technologies have been emerging, and we have seen that all the technologies can further accelerate the activity of these microorganisms. And why does India needs? Because we have so many missions such as Ganga, Yamuna, cleaning these rivers, because they receive every year excess of waste material. Okay, we have oil leaks, we have pesticide residue, heavy metal contamination. Okay, these threaten the ecosystem as well as the health system. Okay, so therefore we need basically the bioremediation. Moreover, we have huge amount of biodiversity. Because of that biodiversity, we will also have huge amount of microorganisms. So that will give us an extra advantage. Okay, now what is India's current status? India's current status is, in India we have just started bioremediation and it is gaining traction. Gaining traction means it is gaining attention. Pilot phase, on pilot basis we have started. Department of Biotechnology has supported various programs like clean technology program, like universities and public research institutions and industries are also getting on board for the sake of treating the wastes through microorganisms. Okay, now also it has given some case studies of Japan. Japan integrates microbial and plant-based cleanup system. With the urban waste strategy, European Union funds cross-country projects that use microbes to tackle oil spills. Means European Union uses bioremediations to tackle oil spills. What are oil spills? Some vessels which carry oil through sea routes sometimes get broken down and huge amount of oil gets spilled over the sea surface. Okay, and also India has the immense opportunities for bioremediation, but they have certain risks also, because that may lead to genetic modification of organisms, and these genetically modified organisms may become very risky and may pose newer health threats. Genetic modification of organisms which may have its ecological impacts. Moreover, we have poor testing and poor problem solving in the contaminated areas. Therefore, we need to have better testing of contaminated waters, and so India will also need new biosafety guidelines to introduce bioremediation at mass scale level. Therefore, we have to develop national standards and bioremediation protocols, and then also we need to give some legal backing to them, and we need public engagement to bring bioremediation to its full results. Get the point? So this is all you need to understand about bioremediation. Okay, please go through this article, very wonderful article, very good question for mains examination. Okay, the new action plan for antimicrobial resistance. I have already discussed what is antimicrobial resistance. When our body resists the medicines, when we have microbial infections, like different infections we have, okay, bacterial infection, viral infections, when the medicines are not able to cure those infections, it means that those microbes have developed the resistance against that medicine. They are called as antimicrobial resistance strategies, which are being formed across the globe. Okay, the strategies are being formed across the globe to check the microbial resistance. Microbial resistance means when bacteria, virus, or infection causing organisms develop resistance against available first line treatment. Whatever first line treatment we have, if the microbes develop resistance against that treatment, we can say that it has got microbial resistant disease. Okay, like multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Okay, now antimicrobial resistance is to be dealt. So we framed one action plan, national action plan for antimicrobial resistance in 2017. This was national action plan to deal with antimicrobial resistance. It was first one. The second one we have drafted now, 2025 to 29. That is called as National Action Plan for Antimicrobial Resistance 2.0. But the problem is that earlier also we lacked its implementation. We were not having a proper plan, coordinated approach, because majority health issues like food safety pathways, waste management, environment contamination, these all are under the state list. Center frames beautiful policies, but if states will not cooperate, then they will not be implemented. So the biggest problem we face will be regarding the implementation. Okay, the success will depend how effectively nation and the states will work together to bring implementation of this action plan properly. Okay, then we have it says that we have to put proper guidelines. We have to make achievable target based guidelines for states also, and we should not only focus on human health, because sometimes we focus on human health but on the vegetables, on the animals, which whatever is consumed by humans, if that is infected, naturally human will also get infected. So we have to focus on one health policy. We have to focus on one health policy, integrated health policy, which will be overall, which will see the food chain also, which will see waste governance also, which will see all the things related to food chain, related to consumption in the humans, and then only we can get better implementation of the antimicrobial resistance plan, national mission. Okay, and moreover, center will show more seriousness by giving grants in the in the national health mission, NHM. Center may give some special grants for AMR, for antimicrobial resistance. Center may give some special grants to states. So this is how it has been discussed. All the things are discussed in this article. Okay. Now next article is regarding, this is a editorial which says that India has opportunities, India has optimism in its economy, but we have to be very cautious. Why? Because currently we are seeing that we have recently in September, one quarter of the financial year ended, that is July, August, September quarter. July, August, September, this is one quarter. Okay. So, March, April, May, April, May and June. This is one quarter. Quarter 1, this is quarter 2, October, November, December. This is quarter 3, and January, February and March. This is quarter 4. These are the 4 quarters of one financial year. Now this quarter 2 data has been released recently, and it has shown that in Q2, in second quarter of 2025-26 financial year, the growth of Indian economy has been 8.2%. Whereas in Q1, it was how much? It was 7.8%. Means higher this time. Means this time the growth is higher. And mainly the growth is driven by manufacturing and services sector. Manufacturing services sector has shown a growth of 9.2%, whereas manufacturing sector has shown a growth of how much? Manufacturing sector has shown the growth of 9.1%. These are the 2 key drivers during this phase. The quarter first of the economy. Okay. Although we have seen in the middle of the quarter, that is August, we have seen the Trump tariffs coming in force in the month of August. So clearly we cannot say that this data may not change in the next quarter. Next quarter may show the figures a bit worse. Why? Because I have already told you in the previous article, that we have seen a slow growth in the industry sector, particularly the 8 core industries, if you remember. Okay. Moreover, is this 8.2% nominal growth rate, or is this real growth rate? Real growth rate means growth rate adjusted with inflation. Means it does not include inflation, and it includes inflation also. Get the point? But the inflation has been very, very low. Inflation during this period has been 0.25%. So it says that the nominal and real growth rate may be more or less very similar because inflation is very less. Okay. Now this all shows that this data, although it presents a very beautiful picture, but maybe because of the it may not be the real growth which will come up at the end of the quarter 3 or quarter 4. Overall, we are concerned with yearly data. But what we have seen here, the construction sector is also growing. Service segments and financial, real estate and professional services are also rising. Service sector is growing. Means capital intensive and infrastructure linked sectors have been the growth momentum creators. Whereas labor intensive sectors which give high employment, labor absorbing sectors continue to lag behind. Only point to note here is that the capital intensive sectors where investment is more, those sectors are good. Capital intensive sectors are good, but labor intensive sector which provide more jobs to the people, these sectors are lagging. It means that the growth picture may please us to the extent that we are growing fast, but are we creating ample jobs? No, because our job creating sectors are not growing at that pace. So this is just an article which gives overview. Now we have a challenge of maintaining the momentum, because already Trump tariffs are also there, global uncertainties are too much. Okay, so we need to keep this momentum, and it will be time which will tell us that how we'll be able to keep this momentum going on. Okay, so please just read this. It is very simple article. Okay, now the last article is related to Index for Industrial Production, IIP. Okay, in October, it has slipped to a 4-month low. First of all, from the previous article, you will tell me who prepares Index for Industrial Production. Index for Industrial Production, IIP. It is prepared by Central Statistical Office, under which ministry? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Okay, this index measures the performance of industries or industrial sector across the country. Across the country, it measures the performance of industrial sector. Okay, broadly we have 3 sectors: manufacturing sector, mining sector, and electricity. Manufacturing sector, mining sector, and electricity. Manufacturing sector altogether comprises how much weightage? 77.63%. 77.63% weightage is given to which sector? Manufacturing sector. Mining sector 14.37%. This is the weightage in the index. Okay, then also electricity sector 7.99%. 7.99%. This is the weightage of different sectors in the index itself. Sometimes UPSC asks the questions, but sometimes they may ask items. In electricity sector, only one item is there, that is electricity itself. Okay, mining we have almost 29 items. Okay, querying, etc., so many items, like 29 items are there. And in manufacturing sector, highest number of items, that is 809 items. 809 items. Manufacturing sector, manufacturing of steel, manufacturing of gas, etc., so many. Get the point? Now important to know here is that there are 8 core industries. There are 8 core industries which have only weightage, exclusively 8 core industries. 8 core industries have the weightage of how much? More than 40%. More than 40%. That is 40.27%. 40.27% is the weightage of 8 core industries. Can you tell me what are those 8 core industries? You must remember that 3 are with the alphabet C. 3C. 3C means which one? Coal, cement, and crude oil. Coal, cement, and crude oil. Okay, none with D, one with E, one with F. With E it is electricity, and with F it is fertilizers. Okay, then N, natural gas, R, refinery products and steel. CEF, N for natural gas, R for refinery products, and S for steel. Okay, S for steel. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, because the C is 3 times. Okay, C means cement, coal, and crude oil. E, electricity. Electricity alone how much? 7.99%. Electricity. F, fertilizers. Okay, N, natural gas. Natural gas. R, refinery products. refinery products, and S for steel. So together these 8 core industries show how much? 40.27% of weightage. In previous articles last week I told you that even this sector has shown a flat growth. Flat growth means it has not shown negative growth, but it has not shown also positive growth. This article says, today's article says that we have seen a sharp decline in the index. Means the index has declined, means the performance of the industries has gone down. Okay, mainly the main culprits for this is electricity, which has gone down, and consumer non-durables. Non-durables, those goods which are consumed immediately. Okay, consumer non-durables. Durable goods, TV, fridge, refrigerator, air conditioner, which we use over a long period of time. Okay, now if you see September 2024, the index was scoring over 3, but today in October 2025 it is scoring only 0.4. So from 3 point something to 0.4, it has seen a very zigzag performances because of so many uncertainties, so many economic events and shocks going on in between. Okay, electricity sector has contracted. Okay, and also we have seen consumer non-durable sector has also contracted. Okay, consumer goods registered negative growth. Consumer goods means goods which are ready for consumption. They have shown negative growth. Negative growth means there has been no production, rather there has been loss of the already available goods from the inventory. Okay, minus 0.5% for durables, minus 4% for non-durables. Okay, then also we have seen mining and quarrying sector contraction. Mining and quarrying sector has also seen contraction. Okay, manufacturing sector has shown some growth, but it is slow from as compared to past year. Past year growth was 4.4% in manufacturing sector, this year 1.8%. Okay, now index for industrial production is on yearly basis. Please remember. Okay, but sorry, monthly basis it gives the data. The data previous I was giving was quarterly basis. In the quarterly basis, Q2 shows great performance in the manufacturing sector, but index of industrial production says that manufacturing has grown but at a very slow pace. Okay, infrastructure and construction of goods sector has shown growth, and other sectors have also shown growth. Okay, so this article highlights basically the picture of industrial sector in the economy. Overall, numbers are not very important. These graphs are important, that how industrial sector has shown a very uneven growth in the past few months. Okay, same thing is produced in economic survey on yearly basis. On yearly basis, you will also see irregular patterns, but not this much steeper irregular patterns. You will see irregular patterns like this. Only during COVID-19 you will see some steep dip in the index of industrial production. Otherwise, normally the index shows fluctuations, but short fluctuations. Here, very huge fluctuations in this. Okay, so this is all you need to understand from today's current affairs. Okay, very soon I will be I'm planning to bring some videos topic wise, like I'm teaching a topic in current affairs. I'm left with very less time to explain topics. I will explain the topic in separate videos and its current related things in separate videos. That will make the things more effective. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll come back again tomorrow. Thank you.